You're breathing right now, but you're not truly alive. You've spent years moving through the world like a ghost, taking up space but not really existing. And the most terrifying part of all is that you haven't even noticed. Every morning you wake up, and before your feet touch the ground, your brain is already calculating. What will they think if I do this? How will they see me if I say that? Will it be enough? Will it be too much? And so you begin another day as a prisoner of invisible judges who don't even exist. Because the brutal truth is this: those voices tormenting you, the ones telling you you're not enough, that you must adjust, that you must be accepted, they don't come from the outside world. They come from you. You're the one who built the prison. You're the one who forged the chains. And the worst part of all is that you wear them with such pride that you confuse them with responsibility, with maturity, with being a good person. But they're not. They're chains. And as long as you keep carrying them, you'll never know what it means to be truly free. But there are people in this world who broke those chains. People who discovered a trait so dangerously liberating, so profoundly transformative, that most don't even know it exists. They don't seek your approval. They don't need anyone to validate their decisions. And that psychological independence gives them a power you can barely imagine. The question is, are you willing to know what's really holding you back? Because once you see it, you'll never be able to stop seeing it. Let's get straight to the bone. You've wasted years, perhaps entire decades, living a lie. The lie that you matter more than you actually do. It sounds cruel, but you need to hear it. Every time you edit your words before speaking, you do it under the illusion that someone is analyzing every syllable with a magnifying glass. Every time you postpone an important decision, it's because you imagine there's an invisible tribunal waiting for you to stumble so they can condemn you. Every time you bury a dream under a mountain of excuses, you do it because you believe the world has its eyes on you, waiting for your failure. But here's the reality check that's going to hurt. Nobody has time for that. People are too busy drowning in their own insecurities, fighting their own demons, surviving their own internal battles. They're not thinking about you. Even when they're looking directly at you, they're not really seeing you. They're thinking about how they look themselves, what impression they're giving, whether you're judging them. It's a hall of mirrors where everyone is so obsessed with their own reflection that nobody is really looking at anyone else. And yet, you keep behaving as if you're under constant surveillance, as if every movement is being recorded in some cosmic file of your failures. You know what's most ironic about all this? While you remain paralyzed calculating imaginary risks others have already taken, the action you let pass. While you worry about what they'll think, they're already building, creating, failing, learning, advancing. The world doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't stop to ask if you've overcome your fears yet. It moves forward relentlessly, with or without you. And every second you lose trapped in your head is a second that gives advantage to those who understood something fundamental. External judgment is smoke that dissipates before you even notice it. Think about this honestly. When was the last time you saw someone make a fool of themselves in front of you? Try to remember. Now tell me, exactly how long did you spend thinking about it? An hour? A day? Probably less than the length of your favorite series. And if someone really did commit a memorable mistake, something truly embarrassing, I bet you remembered it more as a funny anecdote than as a permanent judgment on their character. So explain to me why you assume your mistakes will have a different fate. Why you believe your stumbles will be carved in stone when everyone else's are erased by the breeze. The answer is simple. Because you've become your own worst enemy. You've taken on the role of prosecutor, judge, and executioner of your own life. And while the outside world has already forgotten you, you keep replaying your failures on infinite loop. Here comes the part that really hurts, the one you probably want to avoid. That sick need for approval didn't appear out of thin air. It was installed in you. From the time you were a small child, you were taught that love was something you had to earn, that you had to behave correctly to receive it, that your value as a human being was directly linked to how well you met others' expectations. Good behavior brought smiles and hugs. Bad behavior brought coldness and rejection. And so, little by little, neuron by neuron, your brain learned a lethal equation. External approval equals survival. Your child's mind interpreted those messages in a primitive and absolute way. And now, decades later, you're still operating under that obsolete programming. You still believe you need the blessing of others to exist, to have value, to deserve a place in this world. They turned you into an addict to external validation. Every compliment became a dose of dopamine. Every like on social media, a momentary injection of self-worth. Every gesture of acceptance, temporary proof that you deserve to exist. But like any addiction, you need more each time. More praise, more recognition, more external proof that you're enough. And it's never enough, is it? Because external approval is like trying to quench your thirst by drinking salt water. The more you drink, the more desperate your need becomes. It's a bottomless pit where you throw your vital energy hoping it will fill up at some point. But it will never fill. It can't fill, because you're looking in the wrong place. Seneca said it over 2,000 years ago with brutal clarity. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Read that again. Let it penetrate. How much time have you already lost being someone you're not? How many hours have you invested building an image you don't even like, just because you believed it was what was expected of you? How many days have you wasted playing a role in a play you never chose to star in? That's the true tragedy of your life. It's not that you failed. It's that you haven't even tried to be yourself. You've spent years, perhaps your entire existence, being an actor on a stage where the audience isn't even paying attention. And while you memorized lines that didn't belong to you, others wrote their own scripts. Now carefully observe those people who don't seek approval. Don't confuse them. They're not arrogant. They're not heartless narcissists. They're not sociopaths who feel nothing. They're exactly the opposite. They're people who feel deeply, but who learned to filter which feelings deserve their attention. They have something in their gaze that gives them away, a kind of electric tranquility, a peace that doesn't come from ignorance, but from absolute clarity. Clarity about who they are, clarity about what they want, clarity about what they're willing to tolerate and what they're not. It's not that they don't care about anything. It's that they consciously decided what matters to them and what doesn't deserve even a second of their mental energy. They cut the noise at its root. They eliminated parasitic voices. They kept only the essential. And here's the twist nobody explains to you. When you stop seeking approval, paradoxically, you start receiving more genuine respect. It's counterintuitive, but absolutely real. People can detect emotional desperation from miles away. It's like an invisible smell you emit when you need constant validation. When someone requires continuous approval, they become invisible in the worst possible sense. They become part of the scenery, dispensable, forgettable. But when someone moves with real autonomy, when they make decisions without begging for permission, when they exist without needing witnesses, something fundamental changes in how others perceive them. They start paying attention, not because that person is seeking attention, but precisely because they're not seeking it. The absence of need generates intrigue. Emotional independence is magnetic in a way that dependence can never be. You need to understand this from the biological root. For hundreds of thousands of years of human evolution, belonging to the group literally meant the difference between living and dying. If the tribe rejected you, there were no supermarkets to go to. There were no alternative shelters. There were no social support systems. You were expelled into the void, and the void killed you. That's why your brain is designed with a hypersensitive alarm system for rejection. It's survival coded into the deepest part of your neurological structure. Every time you feel you might be judged negatively, your amygdala lights up as if you were facing a deadly predator. Because, evolutionarily speaking, social rejection was equivalent to physical death. But here's the massive problem nobody addresses. You no longer live in that reality. The world changed radically, but your brain keeps operating with the same old software. You're no longer in a tribe of 30 people where your survival depends on being accepted by that specific group. You live in a world of billions of human beings with infinite possibilities for connection, with millions of different groups, with unlimited opportunities to find your place. Being rejected by some people means absolutely nothing in terms of real survival. There are literally millions of other groups, other communities, other people who could accept you exactly as you are. And yet, your primitive brain keeps launching the same evolutionary panic alarms. Every small criticism feels like a catastrophic existential threat, even though objectively, it's not at all. That mismatch between your evolutionary programming and your current reality is the source of your suffering. You're using Stone Age tools to navigate the digital age. You're responding to imaginary threats with real fear, and that fear is costing you your life. The people who broke that programming didn't do it by reading nice self-help books. It wasn't by watching motivational videos with epic background music. It was through pure and direct pain. They fell so many times they stopped counting the falls. They were rejected so brutally that rejection lost its power. They were criticized so harshly that words became white noise. They took risks again and again until something fundamental changed in their perception. They discovered they could survive negative judgment, that the world didn't collapse when someone disagreed with them, that they kept breathing after someone disapproved of them. And that discovery, that visceral and experiential revelation, not theoretical, gave them something money can't buy: genuine psychological freedom. The ability to move through the world without constantly looking over your shoulder, without calculating every word, without measuring every action, without living in the perpetual tribunal of others' opinions. And that freedom isn't just pleasant or convenient. It's transformative. It's revolutionary. Because when you don't need approval to act, you can do things the average person doesn't even dare to imagine. You can take risks others consider suicidal. You can explore territories others avoid for fear of ridicule. You can build original things, while others copy safe formulas. Aristotle left something engraved millennia ago that most read, but few understand. Be master of your will and slave to your conscience. But observe what people around you actually do. They do exactly the opposite. They're slaves to others' wills and free of their own conscience. They betray their deepest values for fear of what people will say. They abandon their dreams to avoid disappointing people who don't even really matter to them. They adjust, twist, break into pieces, all to fit into molds that don't even fit them. And those molds are rotten from the foundation. Social expectations are inherently contradictory. Today they applaud you for being authentic. Tomorrow they crucify you for not meeting their standards. Today they criticize you for being different. Tomorrow they ignore you for being like everyone else. It's a game where the rules constantly change, and where winning is structurally impossible. The only way to win that game is to understand you shouldn't play it. Period. Now analyze how criticism really works from its psychological origin. When someone points out a mistake, when someone judges you harshly, when someone criticizes you without you asking for it, ask yourself honestly, where does that criticism really come from? It almost never comes from a place of genuine concern for your well-being or growth. It comes from their desperate need to feel superior, even if just for a fleeting instant. Destructive criticism is never really about you. It's always about them. It's their distorted way of processing their own mediocrity, their own stagnation, their own accumulated frustration with their lives. When they see someone moving without fear, when they observe someone taking real risks, when they witness someone living the bold life they don't dare to live, something twists inside them. And their immediate instinct is to drag you back to the level where they're comfortable. Why do they do this? The answer is devastating in its simplicity. Because if you succeed, they're left without excuses. Your movement exposes their paralysis. Your courage brutally contrasts with their cowardice. Your action reminds them of everything they're not doing. That's why they criticize. Not because you're doing something objectively wrong, but because they can't emotionally bear to see you doing something right. Your success is a mirror reflecting their failure. And breaking the mirror is easier than facing their own reflection. Epictetus, that Stoic philosopher who spent years as a slave before being freed, left a phrase that should be tattooed on your mind. No one is free who is not master of himself. So ask yourself the most important question of your life. Are you master of yourself, or are you the intellectual and emotional property of others' words? Because if you live to please, if your main objective is to be accepted by the majority, you'll never be the owner of your own existence. You'll be perpetually rented to external judgment, paying an emotional rent that increases every month, that never finishes settling, that leaves you in total spiritual bankruptcy. And now that we've made it this far, before we continue, I want to present the following to you. Our book, The Formula of Awakening, is now available. Do you feel like there's something inside you that wants to awaken, but you don't know where to start? Then I invite you to transform your way of thinking, and with it, your way of living. Discover who you can become. Start today. The link to get the ebook is in the first pinned comment of this video. Grab your copy now at a great price. With that said, let's continue with the video. True freedom, the kind that transcends external circumstances, only arrives when others' judgment stops having real power over your decisions. And you need to understand something crucial. This doesn't mean becoming an insensitive and disconnected human being. It's not about closing your heart or becoming an emotional sociopath. It's about developing the ability to filter with surgical precision. Not all criticism is poison you must reject, but the overwhelming majority is. Here's the filter you need to apply rigorously. Evaluate the source before processing the message. Genuine advice from someone who has already arrived exactly where you want to be, someone who has walked the path and paid the price. That advice has real weight and deserves serious consideration. But casual criticism from someone who has never risked anything significant, who has never built anything valuable, who lives their entire existence on autopilot, that criticism is worth absolutely nothing. Zero real value. And yet, If you're brutally honest with yourself, how many times have you allowed a coward to dictate the complete rhythm of your life? How many times have you given more power to the words of a mediocre person than to those of someone you genuinely admire? How many crucial decisions have you made based on opinions of people whose lives you wouldn't want to live for even a single day? That's possibly the most costly mistake you can make. Giving authority over your existence to voices that haven't earned that right. Meanwhile, the voices you should listen to carefully, those of people who have failed brutally multiple times and risen stronger each time. Those you systematically ignore because they tell you uncomfortable truths you prefer not to face. People who don't seek approval understand something fundamental about basic human nature. Every human being is inherently selfish in their psychological approach. And this isn't a negative moral judgment, it's simple reality of mental survival. Every person on this planet of billions is primarily busy dealing with their own internal world, their own paralyzing fears, their own devastating insecurities, their own seemingly insurmountable problems. They don't have time or mental energy to dedicate sustained and deep attention to judging you. That feeling you have, that constant paranoia that everyone is watching your movements, anxiously waiting for your next stumble, is a complete construction of your mind. It's illusory. And the most tragic part is that you're precisely the one building that illusion day after day. External judgment has no organic roots of its own. You plant those seeds in your mind. You water them obsessively with your attention. You fertilize them with your constant fear.